first off, I want to apologize. The audio is going to sound different because I broke my microphone. So that's fun. Just wanted to, show that to everybody here, how dumb I am, before I talk about a team that I think is actually kind of dumber with the way they've handled their situations over the last, I would say, decade or so, and that's the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks have struggled this year, and that should not be a surprise to anybody. And now they are looking to move some of their veterans and seemingly trying to head in a new direction here. So let's discuss. So Vancouver, heading into this season so far, are 9-12-2. They have 20 points, and they are 30th in the NHL as of right now. Yeah, not a good season. I did have Vancouver making the playoffs. And even though, I said that, I'm not surprised that they're finishing this low. I even said in my take, it was a hot take, I'm not going to deny that whatsoever, but I even said in my take, I said that a lot has to go right for Vancouver to make the playoffs. Their offense needs to bounce back to where it was. They need to play defense. They need to stay healthy. And as well as that, too, their goaltending needs to stay the way it is as well. So, I will throw some defense and give them a benefit of the doubt for one thing. They have been injured. They've been very injured to start this season. A lot of their guys who they rely on, like Teddy Bluger, Philip Hedel, some of the players that have been here for a while, and even guys they've just acquired, have not been playing. So, again, when you're playing with half of your team injured, obviously, that's a massive negative there, and I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. However, they still have the majority of their really talented guys, and they're still not playing that great. And Elliot Friedman and Thomas Drance and Frank Saravelli, all of the big hockey insiders, Drance does the stuff for the Canucks solely, they said that the Canucks are making veterans, quote-unquote veterans, available. And that means that anybody essentially besides Quinn Hughes and probably Philip Hronek, they are willing to move on from. So that is an interesting thing there. So I thought we'd go through the top 10 players in scoring, go through a couple of more guys, and just discuss whether or not I think some of these players could be. So going down the list here of the top 10 scorers on this team, we'll go through all 10 of them. First off, Quinn Hughes. Hughes is not getting traded, at least as of right now. On November 25th, 2025, he is not getting traded. He is staying with the Vancouver Canucks, at least as of right now. He does have a year left after this year where they need to figure something out. There is a possibility where maybe if, things go a certain way, maybe they will end up trading him, but we're not at that point as of right now. So Quinn Hughes is no. He's off the board. Elias Pettersson, the forward, that is, by the way. There are so many Petterssons. When we do the commentaries, it's so difficult. But anyway, so he's second in scoring right now. 20 points in 23 games played. Has actually been pretty solid so far this year. To this point last year, he wasn't that great. But he's actually started to produce some offense here, especially recently. Although, I don't think it's likely he gets traded. It's unlikely, in my opinion, that he gets dealt. He is 27 years old. He is on the second year of an 8-year, $11.6 million contract, which, again, I will say this, Pettersson has been better this year, but he's still not worth that $11.6 million, in my opinion. At least as of right now, today. He's not worth that money. So I find it rather unlikely that any team would go out and take a jump for him. Next up is Kiefer Sherwood. Sherwood has 12 goals in 23 games played. He leads the Canucks in goals by far, by like a metric mile. The next closest is 7 with Pettersson, so it's not even close. It's pretty likely that they will find a suitor for this guy. Again, he's a guy who on a playoff team could be like a third liner, honestly. He's more like a first or second liner on Vancouver. But he could be a third liner on a playoff team. He is on the second year of a 2-year, $1.5 million contract. 1.5. So I feel like any team could take a stretch on this guy. I'm not saying Vancouver could get like a first-round pick for Sherwood or anything like that, but you could get something good back in return. And again, this is somebody who has scored already through this year, 12 goals, and could be a good secondary depth scorer in the playoffs. I don't see why you wouldn't want to take a chance on that. So I think Sherwood, of the guys I've talked about so far, is probably the most likely to be traded, in my opinion. Next up then is Brock Besser. Besser so far this year, 8 goals, 14 points. I guess I kind of lied there. I can't read the stat sheet in front of me, apparently. Low IQ. But Besser, it's probably not, but I did put him in there as a maybe. He is 28 years old. He is in the first year, though, of a 7-year, $7.25 million contract. I feel like if they were going to trade him, it would likely be in the offseason, not now in the trade deadline or whatever. So I find that one rather unlikely. They also just signed him to a contract as well. Another guy who I think is a little bit unlikely is Connor Garland. He's a maybe, but so far this year, 13 points in 19 games played. Garland reminds me a lot of Travis Konechny in a way, like he's a little bit of a lesser offensive version of Travis Konechny, and he is actually heading into the start of a 6x6 next year. So he's on a 4.5, I believe, right now, and he'll be on a 6x6 for the next 6 years, starting next season. I think it's rather unlikely we see either of those guys traded here in the middle of the season. I feel like that's an off-season thing that could happen. But, the thing is with a lot of these guys is a lot of them are on long-term contracts. There's a couple of guys who are expiring that I could see, but I'm just like, why? I don't really see them being traded. The next one is Philip Hronek. I think Hronek is very unlikely to be traded. He is on the second year of an 8-year, $7.25 contract. I think it's very unlikely we see him get moved, just because of the fact that you got to keep somebody there for Quinn Hughes. And as well as that, too, I don't know if anybody wants to touch that right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody wants to touch that contract right now. Hronek's been good. I'm not going to criticize that. He's been he's picked up assists. He's put up numbers that are all right, but I don't think he is going to get moved there either. I feel like him and Quinn Hughes are probably the two safest players right now. Jake DeBrusk is next up then on the list. 29 years old, is on the second year of a 7-year, $5.5 million deal. At that cap hit, maybe, but that's 5 more years. Or 4 more years of Jake DeBrusk. I don't know. I don't. Maybe. Again, that's another one that's where it's maybe. I don't know. Vander Kane is also a maybe. He is in the last year of his contract, though, so maybe there is a team that sees him and says, hey, maybe we'll take a swing on him if he's at a lesser cap hit. He's in the 4th year of a 5-year, $5.125. Has 11 points in 23 games played so far. Again, maybe. I don't know for sure. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. That's one of the ones where I'm really questionable about that. Drew O'Connor, also a maybe. He's on the first year of a 2-year, $2.5. Good offense so far. 6 goals, 10 points. In 23 games played, maybe could be a good, third liner, honestly. But apart from that, I don't really see any reason, if the return is not that good, to trade for these guys. Not to mention, I'm not even factoring in, no movement clauses in here, too. A couple of these guys have no trade clauses, no movement clauses, so that makes it even harder. I'm not even factoring that into this. And then you look at Linus Karlsson, who is the final player in that top 10 in scoring. He is on a 1-year, $775K deal. He's been a good player coming in for the Canucks, obviously with the injuries they've had, but it's unlikely I see him getting traded either. Now, when you look at the guys who are not in that top 10 in scoring, I see Tyler Myers as the first one. He's a maybe, 35 years old. I didn't realize Myers was that old. He's on the second year of a 3x3. If there's a team that wants to get a third pairing defenseman, $3 million, I don't know, but maybe it's not impossible. I don't really see that much in return for it. Marcus Pettersson, I think, is unlikely. He is on the first year of a 6-year, $5.5 million deal as well. There's some of these deals that I could see them happening, but they don't feel like moves you make mid-season. It doesn't feel like that. But Marcus Pettersson maybe is a possibility, but I think he's unlikely right now. Philip Hedl, I didn't even put unlikely or likely or anything. I just put I really don't know. 4 years, 4.43. He is in the 3rd year of that deal. If there's a team that thinks they can take a chance on him, if he's not injured, obviously. He's only played 6 games this year, so he hasn't really played a lot. Maybe, but I don't know. And then The goaltenders. Thatcher Demko, I think, is unlikely. He's heading into a $3 or $8.5 million deal. Kevin Lankinen, maybe. Lankinen's a big maybe with me because so far this year, 3.63, 880, not that great of numbers, so that doesn't really move the needle there. He is in the first year of a 5-year, $4.5 million deal. The only reason why I say maybe with him is I do wonder if maybe, just maybe, they are willing to trade him to another team or another team is looking for a goaltender. And maybe getting a guy like Kevin Lankinen, who has proved before that he can be good, maybe, but like I don't know. Overall, I don't. That's all the guys I have. I really don't know if there's anybody else on this list that I could see them trading. Really, there's David Kampf, there's Lucas Reichel. They've been taking chances on guys who haven't really been that big of players. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I got two things to wrap up here with this video. First of all, I kind of mentioned it at the end of that clip. I said I don't know. I really don't know who they would move. Like, I think Kiefer Sherwood is their best asset right now that doesn't require them to eat some salary cap. Other guys, maybe I could see Evander Kane. Jake DeBrusk, I think, could be a possibility. Drew O'Connor, possibly. Tyler Myers, maybe. But then again, you ask yourself the question, how much value do those guys really have? How much value do they really bring, and how much assets are you going to get back in return? That's what I'm asking myself really here. And then here's the other thing. I'll believe it when I see it. I feel like I have seen this same thing over and over and over and over again with the Canucks, to where they say they're going to tear it down, they say they're going to rebuild, they say they're going to trade away everybody, and it never ends up happening. Vancouver, what they love to do is they love to trade guys away. The Bo Horvat deal really sticks out. They love to trade those guys away and then trade for other guys who are a little bit better or a little bit worse to keep the team competitive still through this stretch of Canucks hockey. It feels like it's been that way for the last 10 years, essentially. Like, they'll trade guys away, then they'll acquire other players. Like this year, they traded JT Miller, and then they went out and they acquired Marcus Pettersson the same day. 2 years ago, they traded Bo Horvat, or I guess 3 years ago now, wow. They traded Bo Horvat to the Islanders. And then a couple of days later, they acquired Filip Hronek. It feels like they love to just trade guys away for slightly better, slightly worser players and just be in the same middle ground as they've been for years. It's really frustrating as a non-Canucks fan, and my heart goes out to the Canucks fans who have to deal with this. And not to mention the drama going around this team with Rutherford and Alvin and Alvalini not being able to really find a common ground between all these players. It's a very bad situation right now, and I hope that it gets better for Vancouver. I hope they finally take their own advice and just shoot themselves into a rebuild here, maybe trade Quinn Hughes, just get it over with, get a mountain of assets back in return, and start from fresh. You're third last in the NHL right now. Get Gavin McKenna, get Keaton Verhoff, get another guy in this draft. Maybe you can move yourself in a better direction than moving forward. But really, I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Canucks. It's been this way for years. We'll see what they can do here to change things up, but I don't have a lot of faith in that as of right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like down below and subscribe if you are new. Brand new commentary streams on Wednesday. We got Blue Jackets, Maple Leafs, and then Senators and Golden Knights. Those will be our last ones of November. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.